Are you having imaginary conversations in your head? I know it's something that I used to do for a very long time myself. And what ended up happening was I realized that it was an addiction. I was getting a big dopamine burst by having these imaginary conversations about people, because you think about it, a lot of times when we're having those conversations in our head, it's about something that's conflict or something that has a lot of emotion attached to it. And that's part of what makes it such a problem and very hard to let go of. But it's really important to be able to do this, because what we want to do is free up a lot of this thought energy that's going on in our day, because we spend a lot of time thinking about things that don't matter, aren't important, we don't need them, we care too much about stuff that has nothing to do with our own lives, or we just buy into what the media and the news are giving us. So we want to be able to let go of these things and really just take control of that thought energy throughout the day and see what distractions are happening and what things are stealing our energy. And having imaginary conversations is probably one of the worst ones, because we can just do it for hours and hours and hours on end, because we're wired for social activity. So we're constantly going to think about ourselves in relation to other people. And we know that a lot of other people do that same thing as well, because when you come into a conversation, a lot of times you're not prepared for what that person has to say, and you're like, wow, they must have been prepared. Now, it is important to prepare, and it's important to have a time and a place when we do these things, but you have to be able to realize if you can't turn it on and off, that's a problem. And you have to be able to turn it on and off, because you want to be able to turn it on because it's good to have these imaginary conversations, especially in business, because there are going to be some common objections and things that come up. So you want to be able to, have a plan and prepare and be ready for that kind of thing. Or if it's something important, if you're asking someone to marry you, it's good to have an imaginary conversation in your head to kind of see how you'll react depending on how that person responds to what you say to them. So it can be important, but I think the initial reason is that it can be an addiction, and we just get such a dopamine burst from doing all these thoughts in our head about these conversations that it's just a waste of time and energy. So I hope this video is encouraging and inspiring, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Thank you.